Hello everyone, this is Crota giving you a shoutcast between Mouse Hasu and Abver, Roxas Abver here on Jungle Basin. Abver spawning on the south side of the map as the purple Zerg player, meanwhile Mouse Hasu spawning on the north side as the yellow Protoss. Protoss versus Zerg here on Jungle Basin. Only two spawning locations and quite a large walking distance between these two bases, unlike Steppes of War, but a little bit closer than I believe Blistering Sands. And now I am fighting off another cold. Yeah, so someone asked me, or people have been recently adding on the comments that how come it always sounds like, or how come I'm always having a cold? And once you have a daughter in daycare, for some reason, you always get sick. So yeah, that just seems to be an inconvenient truth as an Overlord now makes its way out north and will be trying to, I believe, get into this position here so that it will be able to spot when an expansion is being laid down. We do see a probe now coming out as well. That probe going to simply walk up that ramp and gain sight in just a moment, being able to see a drone, not able to see that drone, as that drone also on the move in order to gain some additional scouting efforts as well. Taking a look in the base, we do not see any spawning pools yet. And now we are going to get an extractor first. So it is going to be extractor in the spawning pool, which will allow Abver to get that metabolic boost much more quickly and get those Zerglings out very, very fast in order to get a lot of damage dealt. We do see now one drone making its way over here, making sure that there is no fast expansion attempt or no hidden tech, and perhaps just going to hide this one drone here. That would be a very, very interesting play to hide a drone here, as if it does a proxy hatchery, that would be absolutely brilliant, as I have not seen a proxy hatchery in quite some time. Abver now down over here, currently just trying to zap away at this one hatchery. You can see that there is a fair amount of minerals still being collected as that spawning pool is nearing completion as well. There are currently only two drones inside that extractor, so that extractor is not being mined out at full, but it will be able to at least get that 100 gas in order to get that metabolic boost and get those Zerglings out very, very quickly. We do see a proxy hatchery now coming in from Roxas Abver, so kudos to him for doing a very, very unconventional, unorthodox play, as we now see a Zealot, which will be trying to sit right here, and it's not going to work. So 2.5 minutes into the game, or 3 minutes 30 seconds into this game minute time, we now see the probe now making its way over here looking for another hatchery, and he doesn't see it. So perhaps, and he goes, wait, is Abver going into one base play as a Zerg player? That can't be right. We now see that the metabolic boost, no drones anymore on that extractor. We do see the metabolic boost should be being researched in just a moment, as a queen now coming out as well, waiting for that metabolic boost. Don't make me a liar. Why else would you sit on 100 gas? Meanwhile, back over here, we now see the one probe just still wandering around on that inside, waiting for that queen to come out, and now this hatchery will be up in just a moment. Will it train a queen here is another key question that I'm going to have. If it does train a queen, that will allow for, on average, about 10 larvae every game minute, so that's going to be 20 Zerglings being able to be produced out of one hatchery once that queen is out. So that hatchery is up and running. Zerglings now trying to chase down over here. We do see a Roach Warren now, so interestingly enough, he now went for a Roach Warren. As that hatchery completed, he changes up his strategy and then decided to go for roaches. We do see those Zerglings now trying to give chase against that one probe, trying to escape. Will that probe be fortunate enough and then come into this location here? Oh, this poor drone currently stuck. So these drones, this is just a really, really bad position here, as they now need to try to take down. This is really, really bad for Abver. Abver will not be able to spawn any units and actually get them out of this location, because all the larvae are always being built from this location. So that, wow, the rally point is going to absolutely suck here, as they need to try to take down these destructible rocks. And now Hasu sees this and he makes a little funny face, and Abver is just heart torn right now, as so much damage could have been dealt if those units were actually properly out. The drones could perhaps try to take down some of these units over here. More roaches need to be trained. Production wise, we do see also a Void Ray coming in, and now we need to get even more queens. Otherwise, that Void Ray will simply be able to snipe down these queens as they're trying to shoot those units out of the sky. More larvae being produced down over here. More roaches now trying to come in as well. I wonder if yeah, these roaches trying to take down this last set of destructible rocks. Back over here, we now are going to get some pylons and then perhaps even a gateway here to try to fend off that attack. And now there is one Void Ray in the air. No additional queens being trained out of this location here, as those destructible rocks are going to just sit there. And now are we going to, yeah, charging off of a Cybernetics core and now simply going to come in to snipe down this hatchery. So, although it was kind of an interesting play, it's not going to work. And in comes this Queen. Queen trying to fight back against this one Void Ray here. Will it be able to work? I do not think so. I think that Queen will get taken down as those roaches are just getting... As those roaches are just trying to take down these rocks over here. Down goes that Queen. Roaches still trying to do good work over here, trying to take this down. I do not believe they're going to see anything else as that Roach is now just trying to finish off those rocks. Rocks down to 101 hit points there, and most likely you're going to be hearing a telemarketer right behind me in just a moment. Let me pause the game. Alright, I'm back. I'm going to go ahead and unpause it now, as those Void Rays are now going to be able to take down this hatchery. So Abver trying to move out with a very, very interesting strategy. Not really that effective though, so unfortunate for him, as those Void Rays are going to be able to finish off this hatchery very, very easily. We do see creep tumors now slowly making their way, and this will deny the expansion for a little bit, but Hasu now setting up an expansion over here at the 9 o'clock location, and now Zealots and Sentries once again on the move with Void Rays in the air. Void Rays now trying to finish off some of those larvae. Larvae do have a lot of armor, so 10 armor, and they are light units, so I believe with only 8 damage per attack, that they take 1 damage per round of attack. And yeah, that really does minimize the amount of damage. Void Rays, their ultimate bane is they're unable to focus down larvae. How cute is that? Zealots and Sentries now down over here, activating this Onaga Watchtower as another hatchery is in play. Abver in a very, very comfortable situation as he's getting another expansion. We should probably see this creep tumor also make its way over once again. Yeah, there we go. And this would be absolutely interesting if the creep tumors are actually able to make their way up this ramp and start spreading creep and denying Hasu any serious building. We should see a photon cannon be placed down. Otherwise, no observers will be able to spot any of those units, as now we have a couple queens. We have 2 queens, 3 queens in play, 4 queens implied, so those 4 queens are going to be the only counter against those Void Rays. I do not see any Spore Crawlers, no tech to tier 2 just quite yet, so no Hydralisk, nothing else, and this is going to be very, very difficult, as Hasu now comes in with 4 Void Rays, quickly taking down some of those creep tumors there. And now those roaches gotta be very careful to not find themselves on the wrong side of a force field. Roaches now, queens now trying to use their needle spines in order to or acid spines to try to take down those Void Rays. And now we also see some cliff jumping coming in from those sentries on that low ground. Queens now up on that high ground as well, and in comes that force field. So roaches now trying to push in the spore crawler, or spine crawlers down over here. So those spine crawlers not going to be able to really do anything at all. Those queens need to make their way over and try to deal more damage against those Void Rays. Void Rays now taking a fair amount of damage, as another Void Ray now coming in as well. Void Rays are trying to focus fire, and now 3 queens against 5 Void Rays. Those transfusions need to come in early and often in order to save this. As the fight continues, are we going to get another transfusion? There we go, another transfusion coming in. Spore Crawler finally being trained, but that may be too little, too late, as this one hatchery now going to get sniped down. So a little bit of interesting play not really working out, as now Spore Crawlers are coming in, those spine crawlers, and now you can see those drones now trying to wiggle their way through those force fields, and now stuck in between those, and now in come those Spore Crawlers. Spore Crawlers are finally able to deal some damage, as those roaches are now trying to fend off that attack. We do see one queen over here and no Spore Crawlers here. That is a lot of minerals to be sitting on when you're trying to fight back against an army of Void Rays. And those Void Rays are just sitting there. A Spore Crawler now trying to make their way, will start rooting themselves, but it will take quite some time for those Spore Crawlers to root. And now Abver will be forced to say GG, I believe, as there's just too many Void Rays in the air. That maximum damage, just very, very high DPS, about 25 DPS per game second, and down goes the rest of those units. Thanks for watching, thanks for listening. I hope you guys enjoyed this 1v1 replay between Roxas Abver and Mouse Hasu here on Jungle Basin. I'll quickly go through the losses tab. I know some of you guys would like to see all of this other information and stats. APM 258 for Hasu, Abver average of 95, so not too high there. Unit losses And then spending, yeah, you can see that also Hasu spent much more on his army, much more on technology, and a lot less on his economy, and was still able to pump out so many units. Thanks for watching. Thanks for listening.